WHOW.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Slight chance for showers today, otherwise cloudy. Highs around 61, westerly winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight, lows dip down to about 49. Slight chance of rain showers tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 60, cloudy skies expected. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently 56.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the Big 1520 daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app and Amazon Alexa. Plus, hear a best of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10, all brought to you by the Clinton Sports Boosters, Liberty Village, and the Clinton Community YMCA.
Plant yourself in FarmWeekNow.com. Whether your door leads to the farm, field, or shop, you can follow breaking ag news, markets, and weather updates 24 hours a day. It's now easier than ever. Enjoy our trusted news and information. Listen to the RFD Radio Network, the Taking Stock podcast, and check out county events, auctions, and more. And sign up for the daily update to receive top headlines delivered to your inbox 5 days a week. Go to FarmWeekNow.com. All ag, all Illinois, all you need.
ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties is proud to be the exclusive sponsor of severe weather coverage on all of WHOW's platforms on AM, FM, and its audio stream, as well as on WEZC, your easy choice for soft hits 95.9 FM. From wind, rain, or even snow, you'll be in the know with severe weather information 24/7. When severe weather breaks out, we break in anytime with what you need to know to keep your family safe. Brought to you exclusively by ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties, your fire, storm, and water restoration specialists. ServPro of Piatt DeWitt Counties are your fire, storm, and water restoration specialists. Find out how they can help you by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. It's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, in studio with us today, following up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. Good morning, Mr. Goebel.
Good morning, Seth.
Thanks for coming out and talking with us. Always good to have you in. And let's start with the meeting last night and a couple of presentations. Some students doing things. You've got another program that is being introduced at the school district as well. But let's start with Skills USA, highlighting those kids and what they're doing.
Yes. Skills USA. It's a fairly new program for Clinton. It's been around for years and years. But we have Fred Knapp is a high school teacher, and he runs the high school program. And then his wife, Michelle Knapp, she is the facilitator or the sponsor for the junior high chapter. Mm-hmm. And yes, you are right. It is growing. We have several kids that are part of Skills USA, and it's I didn't know too much about it. Honestly, I never heard of Skills USA, but it is a great. It prepares kids for just the workforce, mm-hmm. and it touches so many different aspects of being a professional, whether mm-hmm. that's public speaking, or it's the trades, mm-hmm. or it's everything from interview skills, mm-hmm. or I have a list right here. But then it gets into the trades like woodworking or robotics, mm-hmm. Design for graphic design. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of everything, and our kids are excelling. Yeah. And Patrick Morge, he is on the national level. I'm not exactly sure what. But I mean, he there the video last night. I mean, he's standing up at the podium at a huge convention, mm-hmm. and so he plays a major leadership role for this. And we had multiple kids that had qualified mm-hmm. to be at the national level. Mm-hmm. And this summer, they're going to travel down to Atlanta, Georgia, mm-hmm. and compete mm-hmm. on the big stage. Mm-hmm. So this is another amazing opportunity for Clinton,
Mhm.
and I'm so proud of the kids and really Mr. Knapp and Mrs. Knapp
Mhm.
for their leadership to bring this program to Clinton. And again, and you and I were just talking off the radio, it's another opportunity for kids to get involved in school, and I think that is so important for kids to do things outside the classroom.
Right, exactly. Well, and with Skills USA, you mentioned it's relatively young, but boy, Mr. and Mrs. Knapp, they've built this program up, and so many kids participating.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but I mean, something that we are for Clinton, we're very fortunate is that we do have a lot of in-house trade opportunities. You know, for example, the automotive, we have, if you've been in the high school, you can see, like, we have lifts that, you know, you can work on a car. Most schools don't have an automotive shop that lifts cars up. We have multiple welding booths, and we have a plasma cutter, and we have, you know, so Clinton, our technical programs that we have, most schools don't have that. Now, we do send kids to Bloomington Area Technical for the things that we don't have, but we are able to have so many of those things right here in Clinton,
Right.
and that dovetails right into the Skills USA. So we've been able to tap in to our to those CTE programs as part of Skills USA.
Well, and I'll tell you, obviously I came from Lincoln, and we had a lot of these opportunities when I was in high school. So when I came to Clinton and I found out Clinton had a lot of similar things to what we had in Lincoln, I just assumed it was pretty universal that a lot of schools have this. But I came to find out very quickly that is not the case, that Clinton is very blessed with the facilities and the opportunities inside those walls.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the principal at the junior high for years and years, and we would have interviews for English or math, and we'd always give a tour of our building. And when we'd take them down, and you'd show them our family consumer science or the foods lab, and we have kitchens, and then you take them to the wood shop. And the teachers, they're like, wow, I had no idea. And this is a junior high. Like, most junior highs don't have a full wood shop or a 7 kitchens, and or even within our art room. We are so blessed in Clinton to have the facilities that we do and be able to offer these kids these programs, because I am a huge advocate for the trades, whether you're plumbing or electrician or welding or any of those things. Those are growing fields. They have
a huge need.
There's a huge need.
Yeah.
You don't have the enormous student debt. Like, right at, you graduate high school, you can get into the trades. You can and I don't know all the details behind it, but I have some very close friends that are in the trades, and they do very well. So I am proud that Clinton supports the trades like we do.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one thing Clinton has done well on, is it's kept its eye on the ball of those things. A lot of places they delve into a lot of the other nonsense and things of that nature, but you've kept those opportunities front and center for your kids. And that's just what those industries need is more kids coming into them.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Quickwall is coming to town.
Yeah,
and
right.
They're going to need people that are part of the trades. And so I just think that if you're not, like you said, these are jobs that we need, and I will continue to support that.
Well, and I'll tell you, you talked about the opportunities for kids, and this conversation has kind of been on the radar of some lately. And it more or less stemmed from the attendance issue that a lot of schools are dealing with. Getting kids to come to school and all of that. And one of the things that they've talked about is opportunities in the school the day itself, or the after school, and getting kids engaged, because that engagement is not only good for their development, but it's a reason for them to come to school and be a part of programs and all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I as a kid, I played sports, so Full disclosure, I did not love school as a kid.
Mhm,
And it's
mhm.
funny because my parents were teachers and I was a teacher, and I'm sitting here on the radio saying I didn't love school, but I didn't. And actually that's one of the reasons I even went into teaching, because I thought to myself, I can make this more fun.
Mhm,
I can make learning more fun, and you can learn and have fun at the same time.
mhm,
And that was kind of my approach as a teacher.
mhm.
That schools can be a good fun place to be. And but a lot of my motivation was what's happening after school. It was the big basketball game or the football game or all the other things that were happening after school that I was kind of looking forward to. But I played sports, but not everybody is going to be into sports, or they don't like sports. We have and I've talked about it on the radio, and we have a gaming club where the kids play Magic, and that those kids, a lot of them don't play sports, but they have that for them. Or we have the band. We have an amazing band, and everyone doesn't. Someone might want to, be in the band. So having those opportunities like Skills USA or the drama program, like we have an amazing Mrs. Groves who heads up our drama department. Every year we do amazing productions, and I always go. And I wasn't in the plays and musicals as a kid, but I enjoy it, and I'm always so impressed. I go to these things, and some kids on stage, and they're belting out a song. I'm like, I had no idea that they could sing like that. So I just think anything to get kids to get involved in the school, then that kind of spills into the academics, because
Right.
So I just think
You got to keep your academics up to be a part of all of it. So,
if you're really good at sports, but you don't have passing grades, it's not gonna
you're not gonna get your playing
you're not
time.
gonna get your playing time. So it all
Yeah.
works together, and I could not be prouder of our students.
Sure. Very good. Well, Mr. Goebel, with that said, we also Mr. Drew Goebel, superintendent of the Clinton schools, our guest in studio for this morning. He follows up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting. I know also you are kind of introducing a program. I shouldn't say introducing. The English as second language, ESL, is a program that's growing, we'll say. What's going on with this program?
Yeah, the number of students that are entering, that have enrolled in our school, that English is their second language. They're primarily Spanish is being spoken in their homes, and we do have students that do not speak very, very limited English, and I think that I can't imagine. And Nicole Binder and Lindsay French, these are our two teachers that we've hired in the last couple of years to help support these students. And last night at the board presentation, they put up a slide, and it was all in Spanish. And I can't speak Spanish, and I'm thinking, this is how kids feel. That are sitting in classes, and the teachers are teaching, and they have no idea what the teacher is saying, or they pass out a piece of paper and they can't read it. I can't imagine the stress. So what Clinton has done to support these students, starting at a very early age, we have these two teachers that are working side by side with the students, but also with the teachers, and helping them. And then each year, the kids that are English is a second language, they take a test called the access test that kind of sees where they're at. And our students are showing remarkable growth in being able to speak and make English, so they'll be fully bilingual. But so again, that's another thing I'm proud that our school is not just that we have that we can support these kids. And this summer we have a kind of off track here, but we have a summer school program, because between May and August, if these kids have been learning for English proficiency, they might lose some of that.
Right. So
now with Miss Binder and Miss French, we can continue, so we don't have those losses.
Yeah.
So it's a whole summer school program to help support the ESL students.
Any estimate of how many students are in this program?
Oh gosh, I knew you were going to ask that. I don't want to throw a number out there. But it has grown.
Yeah. And I guess I was just curious. I don't know if you know this. Is it like multiple kids at every grade level, and are they clumped together in the same program, or how does that work?
It's across the board.
Okay.
Even it's junior high. I mean, it's all levels.
So do they all come together for this?
Well, I mean, the whole families will move to Clinton.
Yeah. No, I meant in the program. Will they all come together in the program,
Yes,
or will
the summer school program? I think it's 2nd grade through maybe 10th grade.
Okay, gotcha.
That's for the summer school program, and
so you've got a wide gamut of ages, and
we do, but it's not a huge amount of students that are doing the summer school program.
Okay.
I think it's around maybe 15 students or so that are doing the summer program.
Yeah.
But then throughout the whole entire school year, we have many more than just 15 that use the services of Mrs. French and Mrs. Binder. And then we have such a wide variety or range of their English proficiency. I said, some kids are very, very, very limited. And then some are, truly bilingual. And so I'm glad that we can provide these supports, because I can't imagine if we didn't.
Yeah. Well, and you were telling me that part of the summer program is putting the students into kind of real life situations to utilize that second language piece.
Yeah. So part of the program is field trips, because field trips are always fun. But yeah, going to the movie theater and telling what movie you want to go to, or ordering from the concession stand, or going to the grocery store and interacting there, or going to the library. So there's different going to the zoo. It just this day-to-day life that we probably take for granted. If we were dropped into a country that we don't speak their language, where's the bathroom at? It's like little things like that, or just those little things that we just take for granted. These kids are just here, and so this
largely no fault of their own either.
Yeah,
so
it is what it is, and I'm glad they're here. I'm glad that we can help them and support them, not just during the school year, but now this program will be able to help them throughout the summer.
Very good. Well, Mr. Goebel, on that, again, Skills USA, the ESL, I miss anything in those two conversations you want to put out there for us?
Yeah, those are good.
Awesome. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, my guest in studio this morning, following up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting. More to come with Mr. Goebel on the morning show.
WHOW.
.org for details.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all higher. July corn up 2.5, 457. September corn 439 1/4 up 4. December new crop 452 up 3.5. July beans 1061 3/4 up 8 3/4. August beans up 8 3/4, 1059. November new crop 1051 up a dime. July wheat 552 1/4 up 6 1/4. September wheat up 6 3/4, 566 1/2. July bean meal 293 even up 40 cents. July bean oil 49.81 up 31 cents. Livestock market May feeders 295.72 down 27 cents. June live cattle down 35 cents, 212.82. June lean hogs 99.80 down 22 cents. Energy market July crude oil up 30 cents, 62.33. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
If you've got allergies this season, we have relief. CEO Paul Scarin here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Come to our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine. No appointment, no problem. See our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW. WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Drew Goebel, superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio following up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. And Mr. Goebel, a topic that I have hit on with your peers over the last month or two here, but I don't think I've gotten a chance to dive into it with you, is the cell phone ban proposal at the state of Illinois. And I know, I don't know if you were at the junior high when the school district took up its cell phone ban there, or its cell phone, policy there, but very, very similar kind of policy at the state level that the school district has. How about this?
I like to think that we're trendsetters.
I thought, you know what, it created waves. I mean, people, I know you guys were getting calls about what was going on with that, and people were curious what was happening there. So, you were in a way.
Yeah, well, I can't take credit for it. I was not at the junior high when that happened, but Mr. Peck, he headed that up, and yes, we don't allow kids. We don't allow kids throughout the whole district to have phones on them when they're in the classroom. But that did start at the junior high, and I was at the union office at the time, and I thought to myself, boy, we're gonna catch a lot of flack. Parents are gonna be really upset about this, and while we had a couple, I mean, I'm talking very small amount, the major majority of parents in the community were all for it. And I think that was I think parents get it. And, as a teacher, it's such a distraction. I'm trying to teach the student reading and math, and they're over on their phone, not paying a lick of attention. Or now, with the earbuds, kid could be listening but you don't even know that they're not paying attention. And so I commend Mr. Peck, and then Mr. Wayne at the high school. He, a couple years ago, he took that policy at the high school. So the kids go into the classroom, and they have like little caddies that they drop their phone in, so that they're there. And that's something to keep in mind, that I think with any technology, there's good and bad. And I think everyone could say that, cell phones are good, but then also cell phones can be bad. So I think as educators, we have to kind of help kids kind of use technology for the benefits. But then when they become a distraction, we're not allowing it to become a distraction. We I think the last time we were talking on here about artificial intelligence, AI, there's good, and of course there's bad. So cell phones are no different. So I am in support. If the state wants to say no cell phones throughout the entire state, I think that's wise. I think it's common sense, honestly.
So not much would change for Clinton schools, it sounds like.
No, we like I said, we've been doing this for a while now, and very well supported. And, like when you and I were kids, if a parent wanted to get a hold of me in the 90s, they would just call the school and they would get that message to me. And it's no different now. If a parent needs to get a hold of their child, they contact the school, and we get the message to them. And really, I've talked to Chief Lowers and our SRO, and the police are in favor of the bannings. They don't want students to have cell phones because, and I don't want to speak for Chief Lowers, but that just creates more confusion if there was a problem. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, and I know, for one of the arguments against the cell phone ban was, well, what if there's an issue? But from what I kind of learned from Mr. Peck in that whole process was, the school has its protocols for contacting parents and informing the community if there is an issue. And you mentioned the cell phones would just make it that much more, probably a little more chaotic, a little more confusing if they were, allowed to access those during that time.
Like last night, perfect example. We had a tornado warning. At dismissal. I mean, talk about the world's worst time to have a tornado warning, and it wasn't a watch. Watch where it's looking for them. The warning is it's the next level up, and it was right at dismissal time. I'm thinking
that created a ton of confusion
I'm
for
thinking
me.
to myself, God's testing me, and here you go, Drew. We're gonna throw this at you, but I want to throw praise our staff for how they responded to that. I had a halt dismissal. And staff stepped up, and parents were very understanding of the situation. But when you're in a kind of a crisis situation, you have to manage it. And I think if there was ever a crisis at schools, again, getting the blessing from Chief Lowers is that cell phones would not help the situation.
Yeah, sure.
And by working through the school and following our crisis plan, cell phones not being in the student's hand is the chief of police is in favor of that.
Yeah. Well, and also, the distractions, from social media and those sorts of things that it creates, all of that. So, Mr. Goebel, I look at the clock quickly. I got about a minute left with you. Let's highlight the end of your year schedule. What's coming up for your kids?
Yeah. So the very last day for students is Friday the 30th. So, that is the last day for kids. And then the last day for teachers is the very first Monday in June. So we're wrapping things up. It's been a good year. We have the field trips and the seniors, of course, have graduated, so they're not in. We got the junior high promotion coming up, and so we have all the different fun things that kids like to do at the end of the year.
It's race to the finish, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm just proud to be the superintendent of such a great place.
Very good. Mr. Drew Goebel, superintendent of Clinton Schools, my guest in studio. Network news on the way on the morning show.